行行出狀元咯。如果你覺得自己即係其實 pursue 你自己中意嘅冇問題嘅，即係可能你要真係要 strategic 去揾一個點係令到你又可以賺到錢，都可以做你自己中意做。
Hello everyone, this is Yanni Lee. You're watching the Advance and Beyond series presented by the Hong Kong Association of Northern California. The Advance and Beyond series is a program that focuses on young professional development. In each episode, we will invite speakers from a variety of backgrounds to share their experiences and tips to navigate different careers nowadays. To rewatch these episodes, please go visit our website at www.hkanc.com or search HKANC Advance and Beyond on YouTube. In today's episode titled Finance and Tax Professionals, we are very delighted to invite our guest speaker, Ms. Denise Bee, the tax director from Slack, to share her own experiences and tips on landing a career in this industry. A recovering economy and a complex tax and regulatory environment are expected to continue to lead to a strong demand to tax professionals. So today, we're going to explore more on the tips on getting a taxation degree and landing your first job, career options and structures in the tax industry. Also, we will discover more about the working cultures and expectations between a traditional tax firm and in-house experts. Are you ready? Let's go. In this section, our speaker Denise Bee is originally from Hong Kong. She pursued her higher education in Australia and United States, then settled down in the Bay Area. Denise holds a business degree from the University of California at Berkeley and a master's in taxation from Golden Gate University. Denise first started her career in international taxation at PwC, then moved to Citigroup as an investment banker for a few years. She later returned to the tax field and now serves as the head of tax at one of the most innovative software companies, Slack Technologies, to oversee all tax functions. In her leisure time, Denise loved to spend time with her family and doing sports such as running and cycling like many of us. So now, let's take a look at how this diverse background helped Denise succeed in her career in taxation.
For the company, so a typical day for me is that I go in, I will look at, recent tax changes, tax alerts from the law firm, from the accounting firm, from Bloomberg, and then I will just think, okay, are these changes applicable to the, and then every Monday of the week, I will actually have one-on-one meetings with all my directs and just to understand what they have on their plates ahead of them. If they're too busy, we'll try to, work around the schedule to see what's more urgent and what's not. And then later on in the afternoon, I usually also hold a team meeting. So everybody will meet together and just go over what we want to share amongst the team. And so then from Tuesday onward, we can just work together. It is especially hard right now because we don't see each other. We just basically do it virtually through Zoom. But after having practiced this for the last, 14 months, we're expert in working virtually now. It is good. And when I was in college, accounting was a prerequisite. So we had to take a lot of accounting classes and I ended up liking it. And I thought accounting is actually a good foundation for anyone who wants to do business. You need to know accounting in order to measure whether a business is a successful business or not. So I went into it liking it and then went more specifically into tax because I really enjoyed my tax professor at the time. And I did well in the class and I ended up helping him being his grader for the MBA tax classes. So then that actually helped me gain confidence in the topic. And so that's, I ended up doing it for life now. Like calculus or maths either when I was in school. Those were my least favorite topics. But in accounting, it's not just all about numbers. It's about, a story behind the numbers, right? So obviously, if you're not good with numbers, you don't like it, you have to spend just that much more time to get yourself into it. And I did. I mean, there's no free lunch. So if you want to do it, and it is a very stable professional. I mean, every company has to file a tax return. And once you get into it, when you work for a company, there's more interesting tax projects than just filing tax. I don't do tax returns. I haven't done tax returns for the company for a long time. I review them, but we do a lot of like tax planning, tax structuring, international projects. The growth of the business, usually you have to look at tax because it is an expense on the financial statements, right? So in my mind, I think even though you don't like math, you can still do it. I think there are many options. You can do accounting and be an auditor. You can be a banker like I did, and tax, of course. I think depends on what you really want and how you present yourself during a job interview. So, and how I landed on my first job, I actually applied back in the days. We had Big Six. I think now it's Big Four, Big Six. So I don't know. I thought, okay, since I study accounting and I want to start my career in accounting, might as well just apply for all of the accounting firm, apply for a job at all of the accounting firms. So I did. I applied for 5. I didn't apply for E&Y. I didn't remember why. I think I probably missed a deadline or something. But I applied for all 5 and I got offers from all 5 of them. And I chose PW over the other 5 because they promised me to let me go straight into international tax right after 1 year. The other firm says, no, you have to go through the normal track, do tax returns for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then move into international. But PW allowed me to quickly go into the international area, which I liked. Mm-hmm. So that's how I started my first job. So consultant, meaning not just about number, right? So for tax, you have to do a lot of research. If there is a certain situation in your company that might lead into a tax situation, then you have to go and do research. So when you study tax, one of the main course that you have to take is research, like where to find the information. It used to be like volumes and volumes of tax books that you have to go through, and learning how to dig through information from those books. It's like encyclopedia. I don't know if you know what those are. You have to actually take a class to understand how to go through those, how to do the research. But these days you can actually do online. It's easier, but still complicated. So after you do research, you need to know how to write a memo with the introduction, with an analysis, with a conclusion. That kind of easy for people to read and get to a result that you want, right? So those are what tax people do, and it is a more specific field within accounting. Mm-hmm. I got the master's in tax after I left investment banking and back into tax, because I actually boomeranged back into tax. I thought like, okay, if I have decided to continue my profession in tax, I better, go back to school and get more out of school and then get back into work, because I wasn't doing 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so I did. I was actually working and studying at the same time. So that was really like, I'll get off work at 7 o'clock and I'll go to class and get home at like 11. So, and did that for like a year and a half to get my degree. But at the end of the day, now that I look back, I did not regret a thing. It was the right thing to do. And it was the right thing to do. To land a job, I think, then going back to one of the questions that we discussed earlier, besides school, like what other activities should you do? And I think you want to be a well-rounded person, not all just about, getting good grades in school. You want to be able to do something that you actually enjoy in life, that you can actually talk about, that is really about you. So that I think was very important for myself, because I love sports and I love talking to people. I love traveling, and that kind of shape who you are. So during the interview, I didn't really just talk about, oh yeah, I study a tax class, tax 101, and I learned XYZ. I didn't really go through that with the interviewer. So we talk about my life, my experience at Cal, of course, and then what do I do outside of school? So that will interest the person who interviews you, right? And so once you get through that interview and land on a job, that's when you'll probably utilize what you've learned in school to kind of excel yourself within your profession. So that's. So working at a firm, you always have to track your hours by client. And I always hated doing that, because you will probably spend so you work a lot of hours Monday through Friday, or maybe even on the weekends. And then on Sunday night, you have to oh my God, how many hours did I spend on client A, client B, client C? And I really hated doing that. That was one of the reasons why I decided that I should probably go in-house. But the good thing about working for the firm is that you'll be working with a lot of experts in different, in specific area. Like in transfer pricing, you'll be working with the top person, or the person who knows a lot about that topic, right? Because that person spent his whole life, or his or her whole life in that topic. So versus working in a company, you have to know enough to be dangerous in every single tax topic. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a generalist versus a more
in-depth
expert in one topic. So that would be a big difference in terms of work-life balance. I think you get better work-life balance working in-house versus at the firms, because at the firms you'll probably be serving like 20 or even some people serve a lot more clients, and you can be working all nights, all day, and all year round, because there's so much work. But at the company, it is just one company, right? And the deadline is not as, rigid as you would working, reporting to a client. I was born and raised in Hong Kong. I left when I was 13 to Australia, spent about 3 years there, and then moved to the States when I was a sophomore in high school. So academic, it's very different in 3 different regions. Hong Kong is very rigid, right? Very tough. You have to really be studying to be able to stay afloat. And I guess activities outside of academic was not as important. So in Australia, it was I would say Australia is kind of in between US and Hong Kong. And it's under the UK education system. So it's still, under the British system. So it's still similar to Hong Kong, but not as rigid. The States is more relaxed. So I remember when I first arrived here, and I was like, oh my God, these are so easy. So I was like done with everything by 2 o'clock, I think, in school, and I was so bored. But it was high school, right? In college, it's a big gap. The gap between college and high school was huge. So I had to work really, really hard in college to kind of wake up, oh my God, this is the real US education, right? So that was that. But to the point, I think the reason why high school is so much easier is because I think the American education system encourages students to do something outside of academic. You go volunteer, you go choose some sports to do, you do something that you like. So, so those are the differences, I think. Yeah, 好啊，咁我都係一個香港人，咁我以前喺香港，我而家都 actually， 我有一段時間都喺香港做過嘢嘅，我係investment banking 嘅時候，我喺香港都做過幾個月嘅，所以我都好明白香港啲節奏係比較快啲，美國就冇咁快。咁我覺得如果as a student 喺香港咧， 嚟到呢度嘅時候，你會覺得好似好容易咁，但係其實唔係嘅咯。其實都因為你要 overcome 咗個 language。首先，我覺得你一定要 language 嗰度係可以講到啦，英文啦。咁嚟到呢度嘅時候，要 try to commingle with 即係美國呢個 culture 咯，即係唔可以淨係香港人就淨係識住香港人，咁要大家一齊去融合呢個社會，去嘗試認識呢個國家，咁你先至可以喺呢度繼續build 你個 career 咯。因為如果你淨係識活自己一個 group 嘅話咧，就會好即係你睇唔到出邊嘅嘢咯。That would be the advice that I get。即係成日講翻中文嚇，即係呢一個係我個 advice 俾香港想嚟呢度讀書嘅朋友。我諗行行出狀元咯。如果你覺得自己即係其實 pursue 你自己中意嘅嘢冇問題嘅，即係可能你要真係要 strategy 去揾一個點係令到你又可以賺到錢，都可以做你自己中意做嘅嘢。
Thank you, Denise, for sharing such inspiring stories with our members and friends. If you do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe our channel. And you can also follow us on our website. We'd love to see you again. Talk soon.